Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Time Sweeps podcast. I'm Gary.
I'm Wyatt.
And I'm Connor, and this week we're just going to be catching up on all the nerd news that we've missed.
Ready to actually start this topic?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for the past few weeks, we haven't been up to date on our nerd news, and I feel like we should take a little bit of time to bring us all back up to speed.
Yes,
From
sir.
set leaks on Batman to new trailers to even more family-related set leaks. There's a bunch of stuff that's happened recently that we haven't actually gotten a chance to talk about yet.
Yeah, we've gotten is the spoiler ban over for Spider-Man?
I think it's been over.
Degree,
I mean,
Sony itself released pictures of the Spider-Man together in a public setting.
Well,
and technically, I believe the spoiler ban ended the following week.
Yeah, so
or the true spoiler ban. They always give you the weekend.
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland did a interview, like a 3-person interview, talking about their experience, and it's a really interesting watch. I haven't watched all the way through it, but there's some nice little points in there.
I actually watched most of it after you sent it to our group chat.
I watched the whole thing.
I think I missed about the last 5 minutes because I don't even remember what I had to go do at that point.
Yeah.
I think I needed to go to class. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But most of the interview is actually really interesting to watch because the person giving the interview, I don't remember his name, but he does make a good point that it's literally 3 generations that you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean,
in,
Tom
the
was
same
like
Zoom call.
Tom was 6 when Tobey's Spider-Man took the screen. Think about that.
It has been nearly, like, from when he left the screen to going back to the screen, it's almost been 20 years.
Right.
By the time he was actually, Tobey that is, on the screen again for No Way Home, he's the same age Willem Dafoe was when he was Goblin originally.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
what is that, like 45 though?
That's freaking
it's really not that much.
That's
but now
he's 46.
46?
Or 47. Toby's 47.
Which I think that means Willem Dafoe might look a little rough for his age. But he's also Willem Dafoe and is built like a tank.
Right.
Did all of his own stunts for that movie.
Yeah, I know.
The man is insane.
That's insane. I mean, Aquaman probably gave him that, like, edge.
I think he just had the edge already. He's Willem Dafoe.
That's true.
I was gonna say he's easily a well-ranged actor who's just out there to do whatever he needs to do to get things done. He's
kind of scary as well.
Oh no, yeah, I could totally believe it if he just straight up bit a dude's throat out, but he'll also do it with a smile and a well-placed monologue. I put money on that bet. As well as that coming out, we've had this interview. We've also had some of the cast of Moon Knight react to their own trailer.
Yeah.
Everybody involved in the show seems really hyped for that to come out. My first impression of the trailer was I have a lot of questions still because of the different personalities that Mark Spector has, Moon Knight has.
A lot of them, they were changing it up a little bit on some, right?
It seems like it. What do they call him in the trailer? They don't call him Mark Steven. Stephen Grant, that's what it is. The Stephen Grant personality is different than what we see in the trailer. In the trailer, he seems much more of a, how do you want to say, small-mannered, kind of skittish, doesn't stand up for himself much kind of guy. Even though Stephen Grant in the comics, that other personality, is an absolute millionaire big shot. The Bruce Wayne personality
you beat me to it.
Mark Spector, if you will.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the name of the other main personality.
I think the Mark Spector personality is gonna be the.
Do we know how many personalities he has, or is it kind of just like I have so many?
In the comics, he has a main 3.
He has a main 3.
Is it kind of like Legion in the comics?
No. Legion's out there. Moon Knight. There's 3 main personalities.
Okay.
Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, and Jake Lockley. I think it's either Jake or Jack.
Because I know Legion has DID too, right?
Yeah, but it's almost different. His is actually much more like in him.
Yeah.
He actually has a mental disorder. While Moon Knight's much more like it's been forced upon him by his relationship with Khonshu. Khonshu's
okay.
just been like, "Oh, I'm going to give you magic powers beyond your wildest belief," and then multiple personalities. Take it or leave it. Because
Take it or leave it.
He's forcing all the aspects on him, and then the human prospect of Mark Spector is dividing up those aspects of Khonshu into these different.
Oh, so is this like a backup personality, like Zor-Zara in Batman?
Sure, that's kind of a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That it's not so much of a backup, but like you have one computer and a bunch of logins.
Ah, okay.
So it's like you also have like different versions of Moon Knight himself inside Moon Knight.
So it's like
There's
your main
Mr.
account,
Knight.
your gaming account, and your porn account. Got it.
Kind of, yeah. That's a good way to
Okay,
put it.
Okay. Mom, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, go ahead and take your pick of which personality Moon Knight is for which on that one.
Random bullshit. Go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually found the original panel for that, and it's empty. He's
It
not
is?
saying anything. It's just him throwing things, and I was so disappointed.
Aw.
But I was actually going through some videos on Moon Knight because there's a lot of comics I'm not able to get my hands on with him. And there's one where it's before his like first Marvel magazine appearance of like solo comic. He
Right.
teamed up with the Defenders, not actually on the team, but teamed up with them.
Yeah.
And it seems like the writers just kind of forgot about what's going on with Moon Knight. So there's just this weird portion of just like he hails down a cab to take a bunch of superheroes to a crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, what is happening? And the comic ends there. Next comic like comes out next month or week or whatever, and they're all sitting there in a cabin. And one of them is just like, "Didn't you have a helicopter? Couldn't we have just taken your helicopter?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have it, but here's a cab."
Doesn't he have a jet too?
Yes,
That's, like,
I think
shaped
it's
like a
legitimately
crescent?
called the Moon Jet or some crap like that.
So
I
it's like
thought.
shaped like a crescent moon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's yeah.
It's actually it does not look like it should fly, but if you also saw that thing coming at you, it looks like a flying saucer
looks like
that
a
will
damn
slice you in
boomerang.
half.
I hope they go dark with it, with the show.
I do
With
really think that
the
they
most
will.
recent Boba episode, they might.
Yeah,
At the beginning, holy crap!
that was a good scene.
Well, hold on. About another thing about Moon Knight, it kind of seems like they're gonna be doing like the guy that he's beating the crap out of as Moon Knight in the trailer,
Yes.
that looks like a werewolf,
I think
which is what his like original appearance was. He
and
fought werewolves.
Werewolf by Night was
Right.
his first appearance. And he was hired to kill Jack Russell.
So if we have werewolves in the MCU, if that is a werewolf, it could just
I
be.
think it's a jackal, like an Egyptian, because those also exist
Right.
in the comics. Servants of Anubis.
yeah,
right. But if it's a werewolf, say that this is a werewolf,
vampires.
then later, like Blade comes out.
Yeah.
And so we'll have werewolves and vampires
So
in
we,
the MCU.
we know there will be vampires. I think it's a perfectly logical jump.
I think that it'd be really interesting to see Blade in this.
There's
show.
a good chance that we might
Because-
see him in this, and supposedly references to Ghost Rider as well. Those are what
Right.
the leaks say.
Yeah,
Doesn't the
can't
finale
always
come
trust
out
those.
a few days before?
Yeah, the same week as Doctor Strange.
And there's rumored to be Ghost Rider,
yeah, we're rumored to see a bunch of crap in that movie. We
a
don't
whole
even
bunch of
know.
stuff. We're supposed to see 2007 Mr. Fantastic. We're supposed
we're
to see Nicolas Cage,
We're supposed to be.
Ghost Rider.
We're supposed to see two different. Supposedly, it was originally there was going to be two Doctor X or Professor X's, two Mr. Fantastics. There was all this stuff that was going to happen, and there was all these like supposed leaks that Wanda's going to fight Professor X, and it's like, no, what is this movie? What is happening in this movie? I trust Sam Raimi, but like, what is this movie?
And then everyone thinks that
Oh, and
Toby's coming back again in this movie.
which would be nice just because it's Sam Raimi, and that's
Right.
about it. And
Well,
there's-
because in that interview that we were talking about, he says, not to necessarily say close the chapter, but like, it was
yeah, like that
he,
kind of like he either is already planned to come back, or he wants to come back.
I also
because
want to see
money.
Andrew Garfield come back for a third.
I would like to
movie.
actually see him with Tom Hardy.
I think that would be
like
good.
to see it. I would
And
like
it would
to see
give
him.
a great redemption for him because Wyatt is like many other people.
I didn't like those.
Didn't really
movies.
like him.
Hated those movies
before No Way Home, and now wants to see him be redeemed because he
I would
knows how
like-
good of an
yeah.
actor he is now.
I would like to see him in a quality movie, like all those actors in Justice League, like Henry Cavill. good actor for Superman. Ben Affleck even had a good job as Batman.
I mean,
Gal
like,
Gadot is a wonderful Wonder Woman.
The first
That was a
Amazing
bad
Spider-Man
wording.
movie wasn't that bad.
That movie is ass.
The
It is
first one?
hot ass.
The first one?
It is awful. I hate
I like
watching
both
that
of
one
the
more than the
movies.
second one, I'm going to be honest.
Seriously?
The second one's at least funny.
The second one is literally just product placement.
Yeah, and it's at least funny, though. It's kind of like watching Rocky Horror or Cats. You're watching it because you find a sick enjoyment in what's wrong with it. Like Goblin in that movie.
Well,
Absolutely horrible, but
reason-
it's hilarious.
You can't deny that the web swinging in those movies are just beautiful.
Oh, the web
though.
swinging's absolutely awesome. I've always thought that because I like the slingshotting. I like the way that he moves, and some of it I think you told me, or one of you told me.
Connor did.
It
Talked
was-
about practical.
It was the practical effects of them swinging, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And they did it in New York.
Yeah, they did
That's
part of it in New York,
expensive.
part of it in L.A. Because I think they were running out of money. But
Well, if they were running out of money, they should have just went to Atlanta. L.A. would be almost
which
more,
is
that
like
would be more
95%
expensive
of
than
movies
Atlanta.
are made in Atlanta.
Which I mean, you got constant good fair weather,
Right.
and when you need snow, there is snow, and it works out.
I feel like, to be honest, the reason now I understand like Avi Arad has kind of apologized for Spider-Man 3, which is okay, but
I will
still
willingly say
dislike-
Spider-Man's 3 is better than both of those movies.
well, but still, the
only way I'd say that they're better than those two movies, I'd say Amazing Spider-Man 2 is worse than Spider-Man 3, but Amazing Spider-Man 1 is better than Spider-Man 3. On my list.
the first half of Spider-Man 3 isn't that bad.
Well, that's because
That's
it was
fairly
before
true.
he got his hands on it and threw in 8 more villains.
Yeah, that was the part where it was mostly like, okay, this is the plot.
Because
And then
Spider-Man
they're
was
like,
getting
Boom, symbiote.
like Spider-Man getting a big head was a good.
That's a workable story detail, and it's been
Exactly.
used before.
Exactly.
Spider-Man getting an attitude has been done.
Yeah.
And there's you have to have that moment of what something humbles him. And in this case, he got his vibe checked by his best friend dying, sacrificing himself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he didn't get humbled until closer to the end of
Yeah.
the movie.
I
Because even
did-
after he gets rid of the symbiote, he's
One
still
thing
kind
I
of...
did not like about No Way Home was the implication that Harry died while trying to kill him.
I mean, that is kind of what happened to an extent.
Harry died saving him.
He died saving him, but I still feel like to this day he had his change of heart right then and there at the scene where Venom and everything was happening.
Yeah. That's,
He was just like, hey, wait a minute. What am I doing?
yeah.
Because before that, it was just like, oh, Spider-Man's there. I should go kill Peter. That, to me, that's what I've always taken away. It seemed like his change of heart was more in that last minute.
I need to rewatch Spider-Man 3. I thought I'd never say that. Okay.
I watch
just
it more
Gary's
times
just
than I
sitting
want to
here
admit.
like, what is this conversation?
I like all Spider-Man movies.
I like them all too. It's just sometimes they're hard to watch.
Oh, no. There's only like a few movies that I think are hard to watch that are superhero movies. The original Fantastic Four movie.
Like,
I was gonna say it's like we apologize for the silence, but we there's a certain point where we actually are critically thinking about this right now with the Spider-Man movies. Like these movies, some of them are hard to watch, and we will get back to the news. But like this is important to us right now. That like you said, that first Fantastic Four movie. There's some scenes in it that work.
are we talking about the one with Chris Evans and?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about.
Oh,
the
I was talking about the 90s one.
Oh, the
Oh.
one that didn't actually meet the light of day.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Oh yeah, no, that one is absolutely painful.
nearly every superhero movie made after Spider-Man, like Tobey's Spider-Man movies, I enjoy and will watch.
Have you watched Blade?
Blade 1 and 2 are good.
Yeah, Blade 3 is bad.
Blade
No
3 is
one's
bad,
talking
but
about
they were
Blade.
made before Spider-Man, I thought.
They are, but that's why I was asking about Spider-Man.
Blade 1
That's
and
why
2
I
were
was
made-
saying, like, all superhero movies made after Tobey's Spider-Man movies, I think, are just objectively
Blade
good.
Trinity was made before 2002.
Yeah, I thought so.
I thought so. Wait, no, Blade 3
Blade
wasn't.
3 probably was made in...
I think Blade 2 was. Because the first Blade, what did it come out, 98?
See, but think about that. In 2000, after Spider-Man, after Tobey's Spider-Man, every superhero movie after that, I think, is watchable and good. It's all the movies before that are kind of meh. I don't know about that. Like the original X-Men movies.
Those happened at like
Okay.
the same time. Yes, Connor? Oh, did you find out the year for Blade 2?
Blade 2. Oh, it released the same year. Okay.
Okay. Because I know
In 2002.
Yeah,
Blade
Blade
1's the
2.
entire reason that Spider-Man movie even exists.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Blade bailed out. Blade's the reason that Michael Jackson didn't get the rights to Spider-Man.
Michael Jackson?
He wanted to get the rights to Spider-Man so
And
that way he
he's
could make
Spider-Man.
so that way he could make a movie where he's Spider-Man.
That's gross.
I'm totally putting it out there. It's because he's a pedophile and he wanted to lure kids in. Leaving that there. So, Blade, I think Blade was the moment that we got our modern superhero movies. Because without Blade, we wouldn't have gotten the first X-Men movie. It's not the best to watch, but
The first X-Men movie is one of the better ones.
I think the second one's
I
better
think
than
the
the
second
first one.
one-
The second
better.
one is better. It is
The
so
first
much
one, the
better.
first one's hard to watch.
And the third
sometimes.
one is my favorite one.
Which is
Last
also
Stand?
it's
Yeah.
hard to watch in a different way.
But
at
that's
least
just
for me
because
personally.
I was
That's the one that was always on TV.
I think it's the most
Yeah, that's-
nostalgic for me. It's because I had it on DVD.
Yeah.
but like
even though I had all
the
of them on
first one to
DVD.
me has always been kind of it's like wow this is not as good as the other ones.
Yeah,
you
X-Men
get
2
Dark
is probably
It's
Phoenix.
not
my
X-Men
favorite.
Origins though.
Yeah, everything's better than X-Men Origins and Dark Phoenix.
You remember when they were gonna do X-Men Origins Wolverine, but then they were gonna do X-Men Origins Gambit and X-Men Origins.
Yeah, that's
Storm,
that's where First Class
Cyclops.
came from. Was that first half of that movie, or at least half of the footage from that movie, was X-Men First Class or X-Men Origins Magneto. It was supposed to be a Magneto movie,
Really,
Yeah.
and then it ended up becoming X-Men First Class because they were like,
arguably my favorite X-Men movie.
First Class. Mm-hmm. It's up there for me at least. I
it's
really
good.
like Days of Futures Past, but I also really love Logan.
Logan's good.
And
But like that's
are we
like a
considering-
Wolverine movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how far are we going with X-Men movies?
like
exactly
has more than just
more
Logan
than
and-
just so
and
Deadpool.
Professor X.
Deadpool might be my favorite
Deadpool,
X-Men
yeah.
movie then. Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2.
I think I prefer 2 over 1.
Yeah, okay.
Because I really like the
What about
Colossus.
okay? X-Men First Class is my favorite X-Men movie that has X-Men in the title.
What about Dark Phoenix?
that's hard to watch. Like
Yeah.
That's the
it
third
is
one.
So
That's the third
boring.
one
That's
of the
the
new
third one of the
the,
new
tril-
one,
the
yeah.
new trilogy.
You have
with the wood people,
Days of Futures Past,
with the wood aliens.
Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix. Yes, with the wood aliens.
Apocalypse wasn't bad.
I haven't
It's-
seen
it's
Dark
not the
Phoenix
best, and
because
I
I refuse to
Dark
watch it.
Phoenix. Let me tell you,
I refuse to watch Dark Phoenix.
Magneto is great in it
That's it.
It's,
because he literally grabs a train car that's full of aliens and crushes it,
Yeah, and it's cool.
and it's
Like
dope.
The fighting is fun. There's
But like that's a lot of most action movies
Right.
these days. Is
And
that there's
especially
only
with, the
action
mutants.
and fight scenes can only carry the movie so far.
Apocalypse. The reason I like Apocalypse is solely for Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I mean, Quicksilver is just dope.
Dude, Quicksilver
Carries
is
the
amazing.
franchise.
He easily is the best part of some of those movies. How long ago was it? No. Yeah, it actually was recently. I got into an argument with someone online about speedster scenes. And I said that Quicksilvers are some of the best, and they were like, ugh. No, I didn't start this argument. Before I say what's next, I didn't start this part of the argument. They legitimately told me, you must have not watched Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh.
And I was like, you don't know what door you've opened.
Are they talking about the scene where the Flash is saving
Yeah.
the people from the rubble falling?
That's part of what they were talking about.
they
They were
talking
talking
about
about
the
all the Flash scenes. Like
Okay.
even the dog hot dog saving Iris from the flipped car.
Okay, well that one the
That
only
scene
good part
was
about the
awful.
only good part about that scene is when he turns around, his shoes disintegrate,
Yeah, that part's nice.
and the glass shattering. That's the only two good things about that scene. The only good Flash scene is the one where he is saving the people from the falling debris.
And then like the one where he enters the Speed Force, I feel like it's an interesting concept. Don't get me wrong. I like the concept of that being in a movie. It just looks weird.
And listen,
And it's not a problem with him actually moving. It just looks
can
weird.
Ezra run normal?
No. And they say that like he wants like supposedly it's part direction, part him. That like they wanted him to start like he was an actual track runner, but that doesn't answer why he runs like a what's the anime on Netflix? Devilman. If you ever watch that, there's these characters and the way they run is like they just flap their arms in front of them.
I don't get
It's
it.
like,
I've never gotten
I've
how
never
why Ezra
slowed-
ran like that.
I've never slowed down a track runner, but that doesn't look like
it looks
that.
more like he's like reverse swimming.
It looks like
Right.
he's falling to me, constantly falling forward.
I mean, like,
It's weird. And
is
then
Grant
they were trying to
Gustin
say
the
that was
the beefiest Flash. No, but his run is normal.
Yeah, he runs. He just runs.
Right.
As the Flash
I
should
think
do.
not Ezra. I think if Grant was like way more V-shaped in his chest,
he would look
like
a
way more the
superhero.
Flash, right? But like, I'm not saying Grant's a bad Flash. I love him in season 1 and 2 of the Flash. I'm gonna stop the
Just
sentence
leave
there.
that there.
But yeah,
There's a lot of evolution of speedsters you see in these movies. Like, I definitely prefer both of them over Quicksilver in Age of Ultron.
I liked that.
I like it, but it's like, I don't know.
Age of Ultron, arguably,
It's not bad. People talk about it like it's absolutely awful.
is it the
like,
fourth
it's
best
unwatchable.
Avengers movie? Yeah. Is it mean it's the bottom tier movie? Absolutely
No,
not.
I think
Honestly,
I
probably
do-
top 5 favorite MCU movies.
I do think they wasted Ultron.
They
but
wasted Ultron and Quicksilver in the MCU.
they did that with Quicksilver
used to
because there was
say-
a rivaling franchise.
I used to
course.
say that I wish Wanda died instead of Quicksilver, but after seeing like Endgame
And like
and WandaVision,
I've always preferred
end of
Scarlet
WandaVision
Witch.
and
now I'm
stuff.
like, can I have Quicksilver back as well as just keep Wanda?
Just have both of them together.
What if we get Quicksilver back at the end of
There's
Doctor
an honest to God
Strange.
chance that might happen. There's a
and
lot
not
of people.
and not the and I want what's his nuts back, not the guy from the X-Men movies.
Oh, you want the other dude from
Aaron
Kick-Ass?
yeah, I want Kick-Ass back. I don't want this little skinny
Aaron
kid.
Taylor Johnson.
Yes,
Is that his name?
Aaron Taylor
and
Johnson.
Aaron
yeah.
Taylor Johnson, the guy from Godzilla 2014.
I just know him as they were both in Kick-Ass, and not the main kid, but the other kid. Those are the differences that I have.
Right.
them
I
as.
don't want the skinny little kid that's in American Horror Story. I want the big beefy dude.
Which, to be fair, neither of them to me look like Quicksilver, but they both work. They did a good job, both of them.
Both
but
of
the
them
other
did a
one
good
we
job.
didn't really get to see much of. It was definitely interesting to see the other dude, the small little one, not Kick-Ass.
In the MCU.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was why did they do that?
I think
Just
to be cheeky.
To throw us off.
Yeah, which was a fairly good throw off. Because I didn't expect him to make a boner joke.
Right.
Best throw off ever, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because they ended the entire thing with, his name is Ralph Boner? Huh. Boner. It's like, that's your own name. Anyway, it was weird. It didn't end like it was supposed to because of COVID constraints, but that's okay. Mephisto will come one way or another, even though he wasn't originally part of the writer's scheme.
Anything red is Mephisto.
They had a Okay. Look me in the eye. Remember
Where were we? Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Let's
So,
talk about Star Wars.
Star Wars right now.
Star Wars right now. We haven't talked about Book of Boba at
all.
all.
It's like we haven't had
We're 5
a
episodes
true nerd
in.
news since Spider-Man No Way Home, I think.
Like,
Yeah.
we're 5 episodes in, and we haven't talked about Book of Boba.
And
Dude,
Book of
what a
Boba's
show.
good. And the people are like, there's people that are like, they're giving it so much grief.
Let me
especially with the most
get
recent
my
episode.
few problems out of the way because
Go.
the rest I like.
Be my
So
guest.
my couple problems. My first problem is that the fight scenes are not high paced enough, and that's because what's his name?
Tamura Morrison.
He is too old. And then 2, I have no other problems.
There was a lot of people in the very first episode. This is a problem I have, not because of the actual substance that's there, but because I didn't think most people would get the reference anyway. There's that weird-looking monster.
Which one?
In the first episode, it comes
Oh,
out
that
of the
has
sand.
6 arms or
Yeah.
4 arms.
It's a reference to an animator, the pioneer of stop motion. I remember his name. I have his autograph. I got it before he died, or when I say I mean my dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, he was a super big animator, stop motion animator, did everything, and everybody involved in the show is a huge fan of him. And so I think that hindered a large portion of the actual functioning of people watching the show and be like, oh, a giant monster. Because all the people that were like, oh, I know what that's a reference to, they're like, yeah, that's kind of cool. It's kind of weird in the middle of the desert and doesn't look like it fits in very well.
Right.
It looks like the Kraken from Clash of the Titans. The
It kinda
original
did.
Clash of the Titans. Like the face.
Mm-hmm.
The arms are a little iffy. I feel like the shape of the body, it's like it's not a bad monster, but it doesn't fit in that show at that specific time, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, if it were like in a dark recess of Kashyyyk, I probably would be saying less about it.
And speaking of things that don't really fit in the show, Go Power Ranger.
I don't. I just think like the weird. I think people are giving too much grief to the biker gang.
I feel like we talked about the space Vespas at one point.
I think we might have recently
Yeah,
because
I
we
mean-
talked about the chase scene being really slow. I think.
I mean,
And
like,
I think the Power Rangers.
I'm all for it. It's just I just found I don't have any problems with it. It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
like
because
the
you
colors
brought up
of
the-
the speeders.
the
threw me
cyberpunk
off.
aspect came up of it. I think it
The-
was 2
yeah.
weeks ago during the conspiracy episode or before.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that because Star Wars is the reason cyberpunk even exists.
Yeah.
Star Wars is the first cyberpunk movie, unless you're counting Alien.
Yeah.
Right.
Alien did come. No, Alien did come after Star Wars. It was 78. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Jason and the Argon. Sorry, I was still looking up.
Well, so this show.
Ray Harryhausen.
I
It
don't
was a
know if we
reference to
talked
Ray
about.
Harryhausen.
I think we did. I don't know. I'm kind of like second guessing on what we talked about on the podcast and what we didn't. But this show has given me like an all new respect for sand people. Like sand
It's
people,
a huge deal.
like are way more intelligent than we previously thought. I don't know if it was just this tribe of sand people.
I think it's safe to
The
say
mo-
that
the most,
probably most of them we'd never give them enough credit. Before
Right,
this.
because before this, the only sand people we saw are the ones that
Other than
attacked the pod race.
Some in Legends,
Mos
there were some
Eisley,
that were
yeah.
cool. Because in Legends, they had an entire big graveyard of catacombs, and it was really cool, and you get to see some Tusken Raider stuff there.
I mean, I feel like they're referencing Dune
Probably they're
with
probably
the spice trade.
they're probably railing into that hard, and people are
Hustling
going to say
spice.
that it's like, oh, because of the movie, and it's like, no, this was in production at the same time the movie was. This is what George Lucas was referencing when he was,
Back in
writing the script in the
76.
early 70s. This man was writing the script for how many years? I don't remember when the first draft came around.
5 or
for
6.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Oh.
he started early, and then he finally was just working on it.
I feel like spice in Star Wars, instead of a fuel source, is more like a drug, though.
That's what it's become, kind of. Because even in Dune, you can use spice. It has effects on the person,
Right.
on
Yeah.
everything. But like in Star Wars, that's mostly what spice has become. Han Solo was a
just a
spice
drug.
smuggler. That's
Right.
what he's a smuggler for. And that's why I don't like part of that movie, was because they get to like coaxium, and it's like, what? I don't know what coaxium is. I know what spice is, and that's what the Kessel Run was about. So
Are you talking about Solo?
yeah,
Okay.
because he was supposed to drop the load of the only way to get away was to drop the load of spice, and that's why Jabba's after him. That's why on Tatooine he's in super hot territory, because of the spice trade that goes through Tatooine, Jabba, so on. That's why when Jabba dies, the Pike move in on the spice trade. Here we are now.
Once again, how did the Hutts even rise to power?
Good,
Like, how did
Question.
they get enough respect
because
to have people work for them?
right. They had to pay off the right person. It's something to do with probably the Gamorreans. They probably just got enough Gamorreans and made a good point. I think that comes from them talking. You just have enough of them that are able to just yeah, something Wookiee Chewbacca. Because that's what Wookiee means apparently,
What?
is mighty in Huttese. Because if you look at the subtitles for the Return of the Jedi,
Did we talk about this?
he says Wookiee Chewbacca, and then
What-
it says the mighty Chewbacca.
What's the Wookiee's name has black fur?
Santi.
Santi.
That's at least the shortened version of his name. It's
Well, so
something Chrysanthus.
there's also a theory that scar that he has on his eye was given to him by Obi-Wan
I've seen that, because didn't they meet up in the comics?
in the comics.
Yeah.
And then
In the comics,
two-
him and Boba know each other. They're friends, or were
who?
friends.
Obi and
No, Santi and Boba.
okay.
They've worked together before.
Well, now he works for Boba again.
I guess.
You're all caught up, right?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
caught up. I
Okay.
caught up the other day.
So what was I gonna say? Okay, so that actor who plays that
Oh
Wookiee,
yeah.
he's
go
6.
on.
He's 6'7". For the audience, I'm 6'7". So I could play a Wookiee, bro.
Do it.
I could play a Wookiee.
Here, I have a theory. I have a what's the word I want to use?
I may not be 7'2" or however tall the
Play
original.
Chewbacca's son.
I have an option for you.
Yeah.
So we make some nice Star Wars costumes. Because I'm only slightly.
I'm not dressing up as Chewbacca or a
Santi.
Wookiee
Please do Santi.
unless I look like him. Unless I have
Well,
like
yeah,
movie
that's what I'm saying.
accurate.
We have to do it good.
Like
Because you've seen bad Wookiee
Wookiees,
cosplays.
right.
There's like the medium ones that are like, it's okay. The ones that are great. And then those ones, it's just like a walking.
If
It
I-
looks like Cousin It from
It's like
the Addams Family, but
it looks like that.
super
It
tall.
looks like those damn.
I want to make a
things from
costume.
SpongeBob that
I wanna
plays
have
like,
a-
Yes, the ones that love Squiddy G.
The only way I'd wear a Wookiee costume to Comic-Con is if I was approached by the people who like, hey, do you want to join our group for movie accurate costumes?
Well, that's the thing. You have to have a costume and apply to them.
Right.
That's the way they do it.
That's how good I want.
the
I want to be.
501st.
I want my costume to be
that good.
that good.
It's a possibility, but
'Cause, like,
hear me out.
That's hard to make.
Santy, and I'm only slightly taller than Tamora Morrison, so me or Connor could be Boba.
Connor could be Finnick.
I'm thinking. No, hear me out. We make him Boba. I dress up as Finnick, because that's the joke I want to die on.
Yeah, but Boba's
Because
beefier than Finnick, and Finnick's
he
the
is.
muscle.
That's why it's funny, because I am both taller than Connor and wider than Connor. That's the joke here. That's the best I got. I'm dressing like a woman. That's the funny. Because Connor's also closer to the actual height of Tamora Morrison. Tamora Morrison's like 5'9". I'm 6 foot, and I think Connor's still taller than 5'9".
Maybe.
I don't know.
Don't ask why I know that right off the bat that he's 5'9".
Anyway, we're kind of caught up to like episode 5
Yeah,
of
here we
Boba.
are.
This is Boba, and a lot of people have a problem with episode 5 of Boba.
Lots of people personally we know on like Snapchat.
And I'm like, I don't care. It was great.
It was perfect.
It was an episode basically catching us up with Mando.
Yeah, we get to see what Din Djarin's been up to, at least since the season finale of season 2 of Mando.
He's been learning how to use the Darksaber. When I say learning, I mean failing.
Yeah, cutting himself up.
Um,
He catches back up with the Armorer and Paz Vizsla, the heavy Mando, that is. The big blue one that you see in season 1. We haven't seen him in a minute, and I was glad to see him back.
apparently, his ancestor, like his family, is
he's
the one who made
House Vizsla. He's in Star Wars canon. He is the cousin to what's his nuts from the Clone Wars. Darth Maul chopped his head off.
Damn it.
Is it Pre Vizsla?
I think it's pre-Vizsla, yeah.
Also voiced by Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau has done both of them.
Really?
He is carrying House Vizsla.
Wait, Jon Favreau is that Mandalorian?
Yes, that's him in the costume.
Huh. Dope.
I don't know if that's him in the fight scenes, but it's definitely him in the costume.
That's
like,
cool.
Holding the gun, walking around.
Also, Bryce Dallas Howard directed
that's-
this one.
I think she has directed some of the best episodes of
Mando
these
and
Star
now,
Wars shows.
Yeah.
Other than Bad Batch, because
I don't think
she hasn't done anything with Bad
Yeah,
Batch.
she wasn't involved.
But like these live action shows, all two of them, all two of these
them.
shows, some of the best episodes are.
I think
under
3
her directing
episodes
skills.
total now.
I think that she's directed.
She did
maybe
2
4.
in Mando.
One per season for Mando, maybe 2 in the second season. Can't remember, but 1 for Book of Boba Fett, and she's done great. On
I think
every
she just
episode.
knows
She knows what to do.
Mando as a character really well.
It's like whatever she's doing, whatever formula she's got working for her, it's perfect. She knows what to do with Mando.
Yeah, I agree. She did a great job with episode 5. For all those people,
Wait.
there's a TikTok trend going on right now where it's like, does this have anything to do with Boba? And it's like, give it back then.
That's not what I've seen.
And they're like,
Maybe he just does the voice then.
Sorry.
give the episode back then. They're like, no. Everyone's like, it's just basically just season 3, episode 1 of Mando.
Yeah, and then they get super upset.
And then they're like, don't watch it then. And they're like, no, I like it. Then shut up.
Then stop complaining. Don't fix what isn't broken.
Also, the Naboo ship, the Naboo
N1
starfighter.
Starfighter, one
Yeah.
of my favorite starfighters.
One of
ever.
my favorite starfighters as well.
I
'cause
had a toy
it's
one
dope.
when I was little, and I just
I had a
went
Lego one.
everywhere
I don't know where it
with
ever
me.
went.
dude.
And now
That
it's all
ship.
Mandoed out.
Yeah, it's even got the color scheme down.
I know
Everything.
Mando's gonna become like known for his matching ability.
It's probably not a good ship for a bounty hunter to have. Like, it's fast and that's cool, but you can't really,
Hold bounties on it.
yeah, unless you.
But
wanna
imagine
make
him
a mash.
driving it, and then Grogu in the little hole
Oh, I'm
thing.
waiting to see it. I want to see it. That's all I care about. Like, cause it's like him holding, like on the Star Cruiser before he gets the Starfighter, He was holding that, like, whatever that is in the wrapping, because the armorer helped make something for Grogu.
Right. Out of Beskar.
Yeah, out of the Beskar spear.
So the Beskar spear is no more.
Yes, it has been...
melted down and crafted into something for Grogu.
Yeah, at least part of it.
And Mando's going to visit Grogu.
At some point, Mando is reuniting
I don't know if
with
Luke's
Grogu.
going to be happy about that.
Yeah, we don't know how Luke's going to react yet, because with this new canon, we don't know if he's going to go with the old Jedi way or the way he did it in Legends.
Himself.
I mean, he had a wife in Legends.
That's what
He
I'm
had
saying.
kids in Legends.
Luke did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Well, but-
he saw it as a weakness of the Jedi
In this
that
new
they
canon,
didn't have.
so what's the new
families.
canon?
Everything that we've seen so far in comics, in the movies, and in the shows.
So, but he doesn't
Current
have a
movies.
wife in
Correct.
episode
He's-
Well, we don't know yet.
6 through 9.
I feel like
I mean,
if they were going to do
7
that, that
through
would be a big
9.
deal to retcon that from the movies, because that feels like something that should be mentioned in the movies if they were
Like,
going
like
to have
Mara
him.
Jade type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's in Legends, she became a huge character.
Yeah.
That was Luke Skywalker's wife.
Right.
They had kids.
Yeah.
That was a big deal, because even like throughout comics, they did a thing where it takes place I think it's almost a century and a half
And
after.
there's
But
Kate-
if
Kate
Grogu
Skywalker.
chooses...
Yeah. I kind of like him.
If Grogu chooses to leave, that would explain why he wasn't there for Kylo's purge.
Right, which is what I'm afraid that they're doing, instead of trying to retcon their stupidity with those movies, is that they're just going to make it so Grogu leaves the Jedi. Which, those movies just need, I don't know. They
To
could have
be
been they could have been
decanonized?
so good. They could have been great, but no.
Imagine if they get decanonized.
That'd be big, at least to me, because
That would
Star
make
Wars
any-
is like the
that would
closest I
not
have to
make
like a
any
formalized
sense.
religion. It would make perfect sense for anybody that actually cares, but for like people who are more casual,
Right.
it wouldn't make sense. And it would be a bad economic move on Disney's part.
Exactly.
Because for some sad reason they made Galaxy's Edge not a neutral area, but directly only those movies per Kathleen
Right.
Kennedy's order. It was going to be Tatooine, a more general based idea, and she was like, "No.
Yeah.
We want this new, 100% new." And they did a good job of continuing
they
to
had
reference
a-
backwards.
Imagine, dude, if they had a Disney park here with a Star Wars land, in the winter they could have, like, they could make it look like Hoth.
You know how fun that would be?
That would be dope.
Like, imagine all the things they could do. Imagine, okay, I've thought about this for years, that, like, Disney has this power and all this money that they could do whatever they want, essentially.
Uh-huh.
And I know that going through most of the other parts of the country, you have all these weather hazards. But there's also all these huge buildings that aren't being used, and Kansas City is such a huge area to Disney. They should build something here. Not necessarily an outdoor park,
I mean,
but a
Disney
museum
kinda
or something.
I mean, it didn't start here, but
Walt Disney Studios formally started downtown in Kansas City, not far from 18th and Vine.
Oh.
His original animation studio, not Disney corporate, but where he started. Without there, you would not have Disney.
Okay.
And that studio actually caved in not that long ago.
Damn.
It's the outer shell still stands, but it's still extremely damaged, and there's a foundation. If I can find the link for it, I'll put that in the description when this episode goes out, but they need as much money as they can get. If I'm not mistaken, they also try to maintain his boyhood home here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So they try to make sure that the studio still stands, that his house still stands, because the theater that he used to sneak out to doesn't exist anymore. But they did rebuild it at both Disneyland and World.
Also, the droid,
Oh, a BD unit?
a BD unit that I got really excited for. I saw a meme that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, like where he's
pointing at
pointing?
the TV. It's like Fallen Order fans during this part. It's like, shut up! I was so sad when that frizzy-haired bitch walked around the corner.
I like her character.
I do too, but like I was expecting to see an old man Cal.
I was just happy to see a BD unit.
I think
Which,
those
did we
droids are awesome.
I love them. I like the little stupid dance that they do. I love that crap.
Right. I think if I was, I always ask, like, I always want to like have like a thing where it's like, would you rather have an R2, that droid that lady has in Battlefront 2 story mode?
Oh, that little probe droid on her back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love one of those,
Or
honestly.
a BB-8 or a BD unit.
Honestly, a BD unit would probably be like the best to have.
I would
It's-
think
it's
that
got like all the benefits of an astromech in a way, and more.
Yeah, but so does the probe droid thing.
It does.
And it can fly.
But the BD unit is able to dance.
True. I'm not saying I would go with the probe droid one. I would go with the BD unit. But I think the most
I think we're
useful
getting a
would be
little
the
off
probe
track
droid.
here.
This is important things. It may not be nerd news, but this is important.
This is what this episode's about.
When I recently, I've talked about this forever, and I'm sure I've mentioned it on the podcast. 3D printers. This huge one that was once $800 went down to like $430 something.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one I'm going to look into. It's a big filament printer, but I want to print a BD unit so bad.
How's the resin printing going?
Well, I still need to plug it in because I don't have a good place to put it.
Oh,
We actually cleaned off a space, and I'm going to hopefully start printing soon.
okay.
I cleaned off a new space in my basement with a newer shelf that's able to be aerated better, so that
Yeah.
way nothing can catch on fire.
Jordan
It's
might
not
be
in the
getting
middle
a
of my
3D
room.
printer. So,
I was going to say, get the largest you can within a price range. It's one of the best things to do.
Yeah.
Unless you can get a resin printer,
Because
resin.
I've sent you a bunch of like stuff for like 3D printing.
Yeah,
figures
that
and stuff.
one account with the zip tie figures.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's the first one that came to my mind. I don't remember you sending much else besides
Yeah.
that. Besides that one guy and a few other figure type people.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of independent toy makers, though,
Because
in my time.
because I knew you'd like that type of
Oh,
thing.
yeah. His
especially with zip
Ultraman
ties?
stuff is absolutely... Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Zip tie based center frame is absolutely a wonderful idea for basing off figures. But that gets into a complete different toy design topic. What else has there been in nerd news recently? Star Wars. We're still on Boba Fett
Batman.
with the BD unit Batman. Do we want to finish off Boba first, or do you want me to just start going off on
I mean, I think we're pretty much covered Boba. So
we're in the realms of DC now.
we're back full circle.
So I remember months ago, like 2019 almost. No, early 2020. I remember sending it to both of you, and I was like, what is this? Is this a reference to Scarecrow? And we see it in the trailer is titled The Bat and the Cat.
Yeah.
You see it on like Gotham City's big like main street display with all these screens and buildings lit up in all this neon and bright colors.
Yeah.
You see one TV screen that says "Beware the Drops." It's got these red teardrop shapes, and it's got these little like Halloween faces on it.
Yeah.
And everyone around, like online, was like, "This is weird. Is this a reference to Scarecrow? This can't be from the Batman movie. It's edited." No, that's real. So there's a subplot in this movie we don't know about yet. That's going to be something about beware the drops. Something is involved in this movie,
Yeah.
and I think it does tie back to Riddler, probably poisoning the entire, I don't know, underground with drugs or something.
Or
Poisoning the water supply.
poisoning the.
I don't know if I
Poison
want
the water
another.
hole.
I don't know if I want another first Batman movie to be
Scarecrow?
Scarecrow.
Which
Yeah.
I want a better Scarecrow. In
A
that.
better Scarecrow,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I'd like one that's more developed and a little bit more
And
Jonathan
scarier.
Crane. Yeah, and
Like I want a Scarecrow that's like in Injustice, where like he throws the chemicals at you and then he looks like
yeah, just a monster.
a monster.
Which, like, a better design than Injustice. I want something like that tone,
Right.
That idea,
That
with
idea.
a better design.
Right. That's what I was. I think we're on the same page there.
Because like that design, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite design comes from the later half of Batman the Animated Series when it became The Adventures of Batman and Robin,
Yeah.
and it's this dude with a big hat.
Yeah.
I believe the voice actor was the doctor from The Reanimator. I don't remember his name right now. Wonderful guy, wonderful actor.
Yeah.
Only does those crap roles. But he has a noose around his neck and he carries around a big stick, and you can only see parts of his face where it's like looks like very skeletal.
Okay.
And
He's
if
big and
if
terrifying.
they ever do a Joker for this movie, or like this series of movies, I'm sorry, Willem Dafoe.
I'd like to see Willem Dafoe
Willem
as a
Dafoe,
Joker.
I'm
He's
so-
60-something now, but it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Because they could implement that idea of 3 Jokers in a movie. You know what I'm saying? It would take a while to build.
Yeah.
But because of his age restraints, that would be a good way to do it. Because
Yeah.
Batman and Joker should, to me, in closer in age.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm afraid of it being Barry, what's his name? Connigan. The dude that played Druig in Eternals.
Oh yeah. I've seen
God.
I
fan
can't
casting.
see him as Joker. Personally.
Everyone who's fan casting him are the girls who are just like him because
the
he's
people
grunge.
that like Druig in that movie, and it's just like he's just edgy and has a cult. What, like, he's not.
Like
I didn't like.
he doesn't even
Druig.
have a cult. He's making them be there.
If
Right, yeah,
if
it's not a cult,
anyone
they're just
else should
brainwashed.
be, Joker, it should be a Skarsgård.
I'd agree with that.
A
It would be
Skarsgård
kind of
would fit
typecasting,
the role
but
I know, but dude,
he'd do a good job.
he would do a fantastic
He would
job.
do a great job. And I don't I believe Barry, whatever his nuts can be, Druig, I'm just going to say Druig. I think that he could be I haven't seen him in anything else besides Eternals. He may be a great actor, but I personally can't see him as Joker.
Yeah.
And supposedly he is in the movie, and supposedly already is like a cameo as Joker.
Who?
And Barry, what's his nuts?
Ew.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Something. It's his face shape, I think. Maybe if he had different hair,
is
it would help.
Druig
The talking
The mind
one.
control.
the mind controlling one?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Wait, who do you think I was referring to before?
No, like I knew you. I was just making sure.
Verifying.
I was just verifying. No.
Yeah.
No.
I personally can't see him as Joker.
It's the Asian one that was really strong.
Oh, Gilgamesh?
Yeah, Gilgamesh.
That's one of the
new
more
Joker.
interesting characters in the movie.
Yeah,
And then they killed him?
They killed him because he looks too much like Wong, and that's why they killed Icarus, because he looks too much like Sebastian Stan.
I hope that's not why they killed these people.
I bet that's why they did it.
That would suck. Because those were, like, all the interesting characters they killed.
Yeah. Seriously.
Literally.
They made Icarus a bad guy. They killed Ajax.
Which they could have worked with, like, the bad guy angle and returned him back to being good.
Exactly.
But instead he's just like, and then flies into the sun.
Greek mythology.
And he's just like, nope, can't handle it. I couldn't do Arashim's orders, but I guess I'll kill myself. Oh, gee, oh, golly, I guess I go flying sun. I didn't. The movie has problems, I guess. That's the best way I'm going to put it. You know what?
The best part of that
I'm
movie
gonna say
is
it.
the end credits. Blade.
Yes, the reference to Blade, and it comes back to Moon. To get back into the mood of DC, I will tell you something, Connor.
What?
I'll own up to this. I did enjoy most of Zack Snyder's movies more than Eternals. Because Eternals is really boring. And Zack Snyder's stuff can be really boring. But at least it's like there's a moment of just like, oh, cool, Batman's doing
Zack
something.
Snyder can come play the Joker.
I honest to God believe he probably understands. he looks more like Joker than Druid does. And I'm sure he's a nice guy.
To be honest, the most exciting part of Eternals was when your brother started fake crying.
My God. Yeah, when Icarus starts crying in the movie, and we saw this with my brother. We've talked about it on the podcast before. He's crying, the movie theater's quiet, and I think people were supposed to feel emotional at that scene for some reason.
Yeah.
And Logan, my brother, he just starts all of us just our heads dart and look at him, and it's like we cannot take you anywhere. He does that on a regular basis.
And I start dying.
He almost did that during Spider-Man No Way Home.
Right.
I had to like hold him. It's like, don't you dare! The people behind us like this movie too much for you to do this. But
we just need Heath Ledger to come back from the dead.
Just arise from the grave.
Can we have him back? God.
But in the name of the Bat family, we also have Batgirl. We've gotten some set photos from there.
Yeah.
Supposedly, Michael Keaton will be back as Batman in that as well.
Seriously?
J.K. Simmons will be Commissioner Gordon. There will be a Robin.
Wait. So
J.K. Simmons was Commissioner Gordon in
the Snyder movies, which is
What
perfect
are they-
casting.
But
They're wanting. I don't know what they're doing.
what are they doing?
They don't know what they need to do.
DC's doing that, and then Morbius has Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Venom in it. What the heck's going on
No
with
one
the
knows
movies
anymore.
now?
And Michael Keaton's also in that one.
Michael Keaton's in that one. What is going on?
Michael Keaton has come out on multiple occasions recently and been like, I don't understand this multiversal stuff. I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm just glad to be here. I like being Batman.
I feel like
Vulture's
that's how J.K.
cool.
Simmons is as well. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm here. I need pictures of Spider-Man.
I don't know where I am or what this bat thing is, but I need pictures of Spider-Man on my desk by noon. Spider-Man.
Don't.
I need pictures of Spider-Man's plump, luscious butt. Anyway.
Wyatt, no.
Hilarious. So, we have pictures of Batgirl on set.
And pictures of Spider-Man.
And pictures of Spider-Man. And so, J.K. Simmons will be back for that. Being Barbara Gordon's father, of course. He will be, I don't remember the actress's name, but he'll be featured as Jim Gordon, just as Zack Snyder had. But Michael Keaton is supposedly going to be Batman. And we see on spray-painted walls on the set a Batman that looks semi more like Michael Keaton, but with a more refined jaw that looks like he was drawn in a comic, and a picture of Robin with him. So there will be a Robin, and there's people that are talking about, oh, this person's been casted as Robin, and it's like, has he though? And he doesn't look like.
I just want a Batman Beyond movie.
You're right.
For God's sake.
Just one Batman Beyond movie.
I wanted Batman Beyond and Michael Keaton. That's all I wanted.
I know it probably wouldn't be the best, but I'll even take a Dark Knight Returns movie with Michael Keaton.
Oh, dude.
It would be fun. It
It'd
may
be
not
fun.
be very good.
It would be fun.
But it would be fun to see him just say
I'd
some of
much
those
rather
lines.
have a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton.
Especially with Michael Keaton.
Because, like...
The old Bruce Wayne in that
Dude.
looks like Michael Keaton now.
Exactly.
Which is really... I don't know if they planned that or if it just was circumstance, but he was meant to be in that role.
That would be so good.
And you'd have the perfect opportunity to be like, the Jokers are back. And he'd be like, what do you mean? I killed Joker. And it was like...
Either do it with Kevin Conroy or do it with Michael Keaton.
It'd be nice to see.
Either do it
Or even like
Kevin Conroy or do it
Kingdom
with Michael
Come
Keaton.
with Michael Keaton in a big robot suit. It'd be okay.
Yeah. They did... Well, they kind of wasted their opportunity with Kevin Conroy in the CW shows.
They didn't know what they were doing with
They
that.
did not.
It's because it's the CW.
they
They
did
have
Kingdom
some good
Come,
ideas,
but-
and it's every now and then.
They did Kingdom Come, but they turned Batman into a killer.
Right, and you actually see the ramifications of what happens when Batman becomes a killer.
Exactly.
It's like that's what happens when you have someone that understands Batman at a slightly more than a one singular line point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope you know who I'm referring to.
I understand who you're referring to.
It's a Batman who kills in those movies, and he doesn't kill Joker, who killed Robin in that universe.
Yeah.
So why is he still alive if it is a Batman known for killing and brutality?
I don't know.
It's not good. It's bad. It's bad decisions. But yeah, so in terms of news, that's about as far as we've gotten on DC, other than The Rock talking about his role as Shazam, or not? Excuse me,
Black Adam.
Black Adam.
Shazam 2's coming out soon, right?
Yeah.
I've heard it's really bad
I don't know.
from early, like people who got to view the movie early.
I'm hoping it's okay, because I like
They said there's just a
Zachary
bad
Levi.
villain in it.
that. I'd believe because Shazam doesn't really have that many.
Who's the villain?
It's these Greek characters. I think one of them's like the goddess of sea monsters. I think her name is Cerise. It's one or the other. We've seen her on set. I think that's played by Lucy Liu. Lucy Liu is one of the villains in the movie. I know that much. But when you really break down Shazam, I promise he doesn't have that many good villains. Even though he's such a prominent character, but he's usually featured in the Justice League taking on a big Justice League threat.
Right.
Or fighting the Seven Deadly Sins, Dr. Havana,
Or
whatever his name is.
Black Adam.
Or Black Adam. His number one villain, Black Adam.
June 2nd, 2023. It's coming out next year.
Black Adam, or Shazam?
Yeah.
Black Adam.
Then
Black
how have
Adam
people
was-
already watched the movie?
I think that's bull. I don't know. There's a lot of footage. I know they have a lot of footage done. Oh! Footage! That's what I was going to say to Doctor Strange. That's why there was a bunch of... That's why it got pushed back behind Spider-Man No Way Home. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was supposed to happen before.
Yeah.
America... What's her name?
Chavez.
America Chavez. She was supposed to be in the movie.
Yeah.
That was supposed to help with all the portals and stuff. That's
Yeah.
how that was supposed to make more sense than Ned just opening portals all
Yeah.
of a sudden. And that makes more sense when you think about it in the long-term run, but supposedly, this is just a rumor, they had to refilm a bunch of stuff for Doctor Strange because of the actress for America Chavez.
Really?
Because apparently she did such a... Like, whoever they had on the first point, I don't know if it's the same actress or if they literally refilmed everything with a new actress for that. Supposedly there was someone, and the scenes were so bad that they were like, we can't do this.
Really?
We have to start these scenes from scratch. Release Spider-Man before. Refilm the scenes for Spider-Man and do it over. Or
wonder
film the
why.
scenes for Spider-Man different. Supposedly, it was like they chose a kid that looked right, but did a bad job.
Dang.
That
That's the
poor
rumor.
kid.
Yeah.
I have no
that's the
sympathy.
rumor. Huh?
No sympathy for that.
No sympathy for that.
I don't.
Because at one point it's just like, well, at least they fixed it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I mean, like, I have no
I think-
sympathy. Like, sorry. Yeah. I mean, why
I-
should I feel bad that you did a bad job? That's what
I-
I'd feel like if I was another actor
That's fair.
in that film.
In fact, I think I'd be more grateful for her in a way because it didn't get aired on the screen.
Right.
You
Or else
know,
you would
if-
have a
if you had someone
Star Wars Phantom Menace on your hands.
Right. You're even a worse situation. even.
Right.
Like, that kid was bullied, and that was like in the 90s. Imagine now when you have grown adults that'll bully her.
Yeah.
You'll have grown men that sit in their basement and don't know how to shower, and they'll be like, you should kill yourself for screwing up a character I didn't like in the comics 5 years ago. It would be bad. So in a way, I'm thankful if that is the case, that hopefully that doesn't happen to that poor girl, actress, person, if that's the case. But supposedly the new test screenings for the movie are absolutely wonderful, and there's 2 cuts for the movie, supposedly. There's a longer one that will be rated R, and a shorter one that will be aired in theaters that is PG-13. Supposedly, they're wanting to issue an order from Disney to try and get the okay to screen the rated R one at certain theaters.
Is it rated R for cursing or gore?
Probably for just sheer madness. And it's Sam Raimi, so there's a chance that it could just be cartoony gore to a certain extent. Because Sam Raimi can also make a minor horror situation become rated R with the intensity or the fake gore, or is just dark comedy.
Right.
All these situations can happen. Because if you look like more his version stuff with Evil Dead versus Ash versus the Evil Dead, there's a big difference in the language.
Mm-hmm.
But the gore is about the same.
Did direct Ash and Evil Dead?
Not a lot of it.
Oh, wow.
And you can tell. Or if he did direct, he didn't write some of it.
Wow.
Because you can tell in a lot of the jokes, it's more just Ash being like, I put my wiener in that lady.
Oh.
Even though Ash, he's not a courageous person, but in the movies, he's more of a courageous person than what you see in the show.
Yeah.
More reluctant, but in the show he's more like, hey, I screwed up and flunked out of high school, but that doesn't mean you can too, because there's an apocalypse coming and you might die before that. In the movies, he's more like, go sit down, I'm going to go kill that demon.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the vibe I get between the two differences of the show and the movie.
Okay.
Well, you want to talk about something for 3 minutes, or you just want to call it now?
We might call it now, because I don't know if there's anything else truly new at this moment. Lego Star Wars is coming out soon. Some other video games. Who was it? The people that made the last. Who made Fallen Order?
Respawn.
They've recently said that they're coming out with more games.
They're coming out with 2 Star Wars games.
I heard it was 3.
No, EA's coming out with 3 Star Wars games.
Oh, EA is an entire parent company?
What?
Because Respawn is owned by EA.
Yeah.
So are they coming out with 2 games on their own, and then EA is coming out with the 3rd one? Because I heard that there was 3 new.
Well,
Star
I heard
Wars
EA.
games
I
coming.
thought. Wait, no, I'm dumb. So EA is coming out with Fallen Order, and then Old Republic, and then.
And I heard that there was some other new FPS coming
from EA, and then there's a open world Star Wars game that someone's making, and then there's a strategy Star Wars game coming as well.
Oh,
that's what it was. It was strategy.
A strategy Star Wars game. We
And
love those.
Hey, I enjoy a nice strategy game.
We love those. But the old Star Wars strategy games, like the RTS games, were great. A lot of them were so good.
I'm curious if the Fallen Order game is what they announced to be, like the sequel to Fallen Order is their next open world game, or if that's separate.
I think that's separate.
So there's going to be a new open world game, a new strategy game, and a new FPS game.
Right.
It's either Battlefront 3 or something completely new.
I hope it's Battlefront 3.
I honestly hope they make a new Republic Commando game.
That'd be nice.
Because Battlefront 2 is a good game, and the reason it died so fast is because it wasn't a good game at launch.
Yeah.
Right. And they completely screwed themselves over. And
They messed themselves up so much at launch. Like, if they launched the game how it is now,
it'd be fine.
I think there'd be so many more players playing it.
They had all those problems with the microtransaction issues.
Right. But that's EA.
But now it's fine.
But now it's I love the
playable.
Game. Right. You don't have to pay for any heroes.
Exactly.
Which is how it should be.
How it should be. There should be more blasters.
I'm already paying $60 for this. Why do I have to?
Right. And like someone did the math, and like at launch it was like an additional $25 almost per character because you had to get it through those boxes.
Or like 500 hours of gameplay.
And it's just crazy. Like one or the other. But yeah, thank God they fixed that.
Right.
We'll see what happens next, I guess.
And on that note, we're out of time for this week's episode. Thank you all so much for joining us this week. Please make sure to leave a like. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And Wyatt, what's our secret word?
Secret word of today is director.
Director. All right, folks. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.